Hello, everybody. This is Jimmy, and you're reading with Jimmy. We're reading Genesis, the King James Version. This is chapters 16 and 17. And remember, we're reading it as literature, right? That's why it's covered under mythology. Ready? Here we go. Chapter 16. And now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children. And she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abram, Behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her handmaid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarai said unto Abram, My wrong be upon thee. I've given my maid into thy bosom, and when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judge between me and thee. But Abram said unto Sarai, Behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleaseth thee. When Sarai dealt hardly with her, Hagar fled from her face. And the angel of the Lord found her, Hagar, by a fountain of water in the wilderness, and by the fountain in the way of Shur. And the angel of the Lord said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, whence camest thou, and whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man, and his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And let's go back a second. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thou God seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Wherefore the well was called Ber Ishai. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bore Abram a son. And Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. Chapter 17. And so when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram, and he said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me, and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. And neither shall thy name or any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations, for an everlasting covenant to be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. And this is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man-child among you shall be circumcised, and you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man-child in your generation, he that is born in the house, or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money, must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh, for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man-child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And God said unto Abraham, As for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. But then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed. And he said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And then Abraham said unto God, Oh, that Ishmael might live before thee. God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I've heard thee, and behold, I have blessed Ishmael, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And after he left off talking with him, God went up from Abraham. And so Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born of his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and he circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day, as God had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the selfsame day was Abraham circumcised and Ishmael his son. And all the men of his house, born in the house or bought with the money of the stranger, were circumcised with him. Well, You've been reading chapters 16 and 17 with Jimmy. Weren't those interesting chapters? Be sure to read my analysis of these 2 chapters and learn more about the Bible by continuing to watch our ongoing videos of this. This is actually one of the greatest stories that you'll find in classical literature. And you've been reading Genesis. Be sure to visit and read other classics on my website, readingwithjimmy.com, www.readingwithjimmy.com, or you'll find me on YouTube, Reading with Jimmy. And remember, we're reading Genesis as literature, not as the gospel, although there's a lot to be said about what's being done here with the relationship between God and human beings. Our intention is not to harm your beliefs. Our intention is to help them stay strong. Well, Jimmy, I don't believe in it. Well, it's okay. Then it's a good story to read, isn't it? What God is doing, he's making covenants with us. Wow. Got an email question, jimmy@readingwithjimmy.com, or put it right here in what you're reading. Thanks for coming by. Enjoy. Thank you very much.